Hi, I'm Åsa Rexare Simonsen, and I'm heading the B2B team for Hyper Island in Sweden. I wanted to share a few things with you that are super close to my heart. It's around our humanness and how we can connect our leadership and reflections around self-development to the seasons of nature. So at least if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this is a time of year where we step into spring. So we're experiencing the shift in nature where we go from the darkness of the winter to the light of the spring. And we've all lived through or are living through the period of the pandemic. And maybe the dark season has been darker and longer than maybe ever before in the lives we are living now. The pandemic has disrupted so much of what we knew and what we had familiar. At the same time, I hear many people say that it also has reminded us about our interconnectedness and our deep, innate humanness. So how can we tap into nature as a guide for leadership and self-development? If you look outside right now, we shift from the darkness of winter and the cold nights and the slower pace in nature, the introvertedness of the winter season, to the early morning smells, the warmth of spring, the potential that lies in the seeds, and things that looked dead or appeared dead, they suddenly come alive. So spring is an energy that comes with new life. The planet awakens from its winter slumber, and it's like it's choosing to live again. So how can we as human beings choose to live again now that probably many of us, not only from the spring season perspective, but also from a life perspective, can start to see the light in the tunnel? Spring brings the energy of fresh starts to our lives, and it reminds us that we always have the chance to renew ourselves. So being on the edge of spring, it's the time for us to leave the dark season behind. We take with us the insights and the learnings that we bring with us from what we went through, leaving us even stronger. But spring is like a season where we open the windows, we bring in the fresh air, we can feel the coolness and the fresh air. It's a period where we naturally start clearing our space and we allow the light to shine through. So how can the light be a guide for you and an invitation to invite curiosity, a sense of hope and possibilities, potential? This is a season as a leader and a human being to be intentional about what seeds we plant and which we nourish. What are the things that you bring with you from the learnings, from these past, maybe traumatic experience of the pandemic? What is it that you want to keep? The habits, the learnings that you want to keep nourishing? And what are those weeds in your garden that you want to take out, that you don't want to bring with you as you move forward? This is a time to step with courage into a new cycle of growth, just as nature does. And with a confidence to know that I can manifest anything I desire. So it is a time of excitement, potential, and change. So how do we make change happen? It's by remembering that growth is a cyclic. It will always need us to learn. And I'm in Sweden right now, and I can tell you there is no spring without days of setback. So nature is teaching us to keep growing towards our dreams, even if the world brings us obstacles. So we have days of warmth and sun where the plants, they sort of grow up, and then there is snow and there's rain, there is hail and cold again for a few days. But nature doesn't give up. even if life is full of challenges. And as human beings, when we grow into a new cycle, we will face many unknowns. To pursue our mission, we will come up against new circumstances every day. And when anything is novel or new to our energy, it can feel scary. Because we are, as human beings, creature of habit. It's natural to stay with what we know. And when we are faced with a unique experience, when we push ourselves into growth space and stretch space, it can feel a bit stressful. But if you tap into nature and the courage out there, you can see that you have the courage that you need to face those challenges and overcome them. Situations that feel like pressure are often the best ones for helping us to develop resilience and courage. You know what I mean if you ever seen a dandelion growing up through asphalt, right? So the key to a growth mindset, a learning mindset, is to choose to be excited about challenges instead of anxious about them. And once we face the unknown a few times, it becomes more familiar and less intimidating. We can continue our journey one step at a time, and knowing that I can handle anything that life throws at me. I stand in my growth mindset, just like nature does outside. So my invitation is to feel into the motivation to face challenges head on this season and ask yourself, what am I excited about? Use that question to help you step into a growth mindset. Because a fresh start is not a place, it's not a moment, it's a mindset. So allow the energy of spring to awaken your inner desires, connect into what you really want. What does your heart want? What do you want from this life? What are you here to achieve? What are you willing to fight for? I believe that we all have what I would call like a unique purpose to be here. And when you can operate more of the time from who you really are, your core values and what's meaningful to you, you have a strong inner compass. So maybe right now, as you look ahead into your next cycle of growth, you don't know exactly what you're growing towards. But what I would inspire to is to every day do more of what your passion asks for. Do the things that brings you energy. Do the things that helps you grow, and trust that that will take you towards the destination that you're meant to go. I listened to an amazing podcast where Seth Godin, he said, do it on purpose and you will find out who you are on the way. So instead of thinking about it too much before you dare to take the first step, start walking now. Start doing more of the things that you love, the things that brings energy and passion. So we're on the threshold of spring. Feel the strength of the learnings from your past and feel how you have them with you. But now is the time to direct your attention to the future, to the light in the tunnel that I think many of us can finally start seeing. More this spring than any year, I think. It is time to heal the trauma of last year, bring the learnings with us, and start walking the path forward. It's a really fertile time to create the future we want to see. No one knows what the next season brings. We create it together. In true Hyper Island fashion, I will leave you with one reflection. So as you digest the things I've shared, this perspective, I want to leave you with this reflection question. What are you here to achieve this spring? What are you willing to fight for And what are those bigger shifts in the world that you are motivated to make happen? And how can you use the answers that emerges for you as guide on your path for your next cycle of growth this spring? Thank you.